Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from THPPNetwork.
Like, for example, we got a preacher. I ain't gonna say his name. He got some BBL, the first lady of the church. Now, you know, we all know who this is. It's not respectable to put this woman of the game in front of the people who might actually love church and come for the real message.
Are you saying they gotta have a type of image to be a first lady or a pastor's wife? Is that what you're trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is this. Me and you are not stupid. When you got a woman dressed like a streetwalker,
No.
up at the church on the come on, man.
Even at the church, just a streetwalker on your arm, and everyone knows that it's a streetwalker. It denigrates you as a person, as a man yourself too.
It ain't like
She had
we all can have a pass.
she had a flowing dress on that Sunday.
What?
Ooh, sometimes that could be the worst.
Man,
Them little summer,
See,
them
Luther,
summer.
I hate that we know these people, man, because I can't make excuses for you when it comes to the real. Just like with comedy, if you're not ready, in my opinion, I tell you, I don't feel you ready. That don't mean it's the word of God. Do you think a woman in some stretch pants and a blazer should be addressing a church as a speaker?
I probably wouldn't pay attention to anything she had to say.
I needed to deal with it head on because the other day the internet went crazy.
I mean, this is also part of the big reason why men don't respect churches anymore. Because of men like this that kind of just flaunt the 304 culture.
About a dress my wife had on.
Jamal Bryant, let's be honest. That dress was inappropriate and your response was inappropriate. I don't care what nobody say, but that man is not a pastor. He is an entertainer and a mass manipulator.
True.
There is a time and a place for everything. And that little speech that he gave to his congregation was not the time nor the place. He definitely could have saved that for his podcast.
Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund.
They be over here watching and listening to this guy and giving him attention instead of cutting him off. And they'll listen and they'll be like, well, you know, sir, he be keeping it real, man. You know, he do be talking about some real stuff. Oh man, she just telling the truth. So what they do is this, fam. They tell a little bit of the truth about something that they know that nobody can really disagree with. When you hear it, you go like, man, yeah, that's true, that's. And then they proceed to tell a bunch of lies.
They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down.
Let me just say this. If any of his members of his congregation would have walked in his church with such a dress on, he would have had something to say, as well as the people in that congregation. And anybody who go to church, y'all know that I'm telling the damn truth. They would have judged that woman and been so judgmental towards her that it didn't make no goddamn sense. So don't sit up there and act like we the people are sitting here overreacting.
The dress was not see-through.
I don't give a damn how T her body is or how good she looked in that dress, whatever the case may be. The was inappropriate. I don't care if she actually really wasn't showing flesh, skin, whatever the case may be.
I mean, there's professionalism. I mean, I would assume there's professionalism at the church also.
The dress was insinuating such. It was inappropriate, okay? So let's just be real.
But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress.
It's not.
Man, this man, the way this man like speaks is like beyond me.
See-through. It's not see-through. But is it appropriate for a person that is designated themselves as a part of the church, as a leader of a church, as a part of clergy? Listen, these people like to play in God's face, and they like to straddle the line between being worldly and being holy.
So this is how the pastors do, you know. So they want to hold people accountable, and they want you to be respectful and noble and all of these things, right? They want you to be honest, and you know, they want you to have integrity and all this stuff. But when they cross the line and they get out of pocket, the first thing they start doing, well, God said forgive, and who are you not to forgive?
And this is one of the reasons why people don't respect Christianity.
Again,
They don't.
me and Anton are on the same boat as this. This is exactly why people look down on the church, look down on Christianity, and they don't want anything to do with the church.
Respect the black church. Why people play in God's face, and why it's so hard when people try to advocate for Christianity that nobody takes it serious.
True.
Why they think it's a game, they think it's a social hour, they think it's a club, they think it's a place for you to be able to go to and be gay in the choir and all of this stuff. So
You got pretty legs, man.
Oh, man.
And they lanolated.
Man, listen,
I mean,
I'm back working out.
You put shea butter, jerky.
Oh, you see that?
They glowing in the dark.
I'm just
Y'all
nourished.
zoom in. Do not skip leg day.
Don't do that.
people can go back and forth and say, oh man, it's not really see-through. It's not really like that.
No,
but
we know
when you
that.
hold a certain position, your level of professionalism and responsibility goes up a notch, because you are literally the torchbearer for what the saints are supposed to present themselves as.
Modesty is an outward showing of what God has put inside of you, right? With whatever you show on the outside, it's usually on the inside too. I'm talking about when you show I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about what you try to hide. I'm talking about what you show and you say, well, I'm just being me. That's really, that's on the inside.
Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have a responsibility as individual saints to carry ourselves a certain way. Absolutely. But there's always going to be a higher level of responsibility for leadership in any capacity. If you're the CEO of a company, then one of the reasons why they'll get rid of you if you get into a scandal is because you're the mouthpiece for the company. You're the head of the snake.
Please let me highlight a fundamental issue that we have in our community specifically. We don't understand that with positions of power comes positions of responsibility, meaning that how you handle yourself, how you present yourself, how you are perceived is paramount. So when this pastor comes out with his wife dressed the way that she was dressed at a New Year's gala, well, of course, he's going to get some pushback. We all understand what a pulpit pimp does when he gets that pushback. He takes it to the good old pulpit, preaches that good old sermon, and lets everybody know that they were wrong, because of course this man is above any judgment except the judgment that he has to get at the end of his life.
Again, this is just I know we're talking about this particular incident here, but how this pastor feels, I think this is how women feel. They just feel they're morally superior, that they can talk down, and anything they say should be held as the truth.
Let's not even talk about that diversionary tactic he did, that straw man argument of saying that you didn't say this about the money we raised, you didn't say that about how much she prayed. Well, sir, the bottom line is that nobody was talking about that.
Yeah.
That is typical avoidance behavior.
You're probably the coolest pastor I've ever met. I see that. The question was originally, what's the difference between a mega church pastor and a regular pastor?
Yes.
And I think you explained it in the last 3 minutes, just hearing you talk. It's a big thought you have to have.
Yeah, so I think people have a skewed opinion of mega pastors from watching shows like Greenleaf.
Yes.
So they think every mega pastor got a private plane, living in a mansion, and got butlers. The reality is, what most people ignore, most churches in America only have 50 members.
But we've said it before. The reason why trust has eroded in a black church is it's a cold game when you go up in the Lord's pocket, you dig?
Today we're looking at the home of Jamal Bryant, the charismatic, dynamic pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, former church of Bishop Eddie Long. Now, his main home is in Atlanta as well, and he has a condo in Buckhead next to Phipps Plaza that many other pastors have residences at as well, such as Bishop Paul Morton, or have had. Creflo Dollar still has for sure.
Pimping is a way of life in America. Do we disagree with this? Anybody? Pulpit pimping. It goes on in America where preachers know how to work the congregation out of more than they probably would naturally give.
Polite savages.
Let's get ready to
Ladies, gentlemen, the polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger pulpit pimps and people who support them alike. Hey, let's get it clear and let's get it straight right here. You can't have the first lady out there looking like a straight up and down bust down. Almost see-through. No, it's not see-through, but that illusion was clear. And yes, you can go up there and be all upset and say this, blabble, blabble about, oh, you're jealous of this and you're jealous of that and jealousy in your heart. But sir, you understand the position that you have. You've reaped the benefits and the rewards of that position that you have. You understand that that position you have demands a higher level of scrutiny, but you didn't want that scrutiny because you are mesmerized by that big BBL booty. Yes, sir.
She kind of looks like Oprah.
I have no respect for folks who come out here, start slipping and sliding and backsliding when it comes down to the truth. And the truth is this: that lady should not be dressed like that. The first lady has to be the first lady, you dig? So we all understand what's going on up and down, left and right, front to back, side to side, three-wheel motion on that. You just didn't want to hear nobody talking about your boo. And we understand that because the man's supposed to defend his wife, but you can't defend the undefendable. And this is one fact that is true.
The dress was flesh color. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it.
I'm gonna tell a little bit of truth, but then I'm gonna cloak it with a bunch of lies, right? Or, I'm gonna drag black people to the pits of hell. I'm gonna drag them. And every now and then I'm gonna pop out and I'm gonna say something that everybody can agree with.
If you wanted,
this is the sad thing about black culture. I'm just gonna say it, like the internal strifes in the culture itself makes it hard for them to ever really come up, right? Like I think Hispanics really together. You can look at how the United States is right now. Hispanics really come together. Indians, oh my God, they come together. Asians come together. Black people, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You guys don't really like to come together the way you should.
A first lady that looked like Little House on the Prairie and Holly Hobbie, you got the wrong church. I wanted a wife I would rush home to, that I wanted to be excited to see. When we walked in there, I said, shake it fast, watch yourself.
Besides the fact that he just
really the pastor is saying all this.
The rapper who's doing time, hard time for SA. This does not mean that because you want to rush home to your lady that she needs to show everything all out in public. This makes absolutely no sense. This is a false dichotomy and a strawman argument. Because nobody said that they didn't want you to have a beautiful woman that you desired. What people are saying is that what that beautiful woman that you desired was showing more than we desired to see of her at a event. And that is the price you have to pay when you are a public figure. And you know exactly what people were talking about. You just had to come out here and get on the offense because a good offense is your best defense. And we all understand that when you are or your crew is guilty of something offensive, then you have to go on the defensive. And as always, we can only guarantee to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter, bitter pill, but you gotta shut up and take your medicine. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Well, let's go.
I don't understand the commentary around people who ain't never been nowhere, who ain't never done nothing. What does your wife's dress have to do with somebody never being nowhere? You said people didn't talk about the $4 million that was raised because, again, the $4 million that was raised, that is a blessing. It gets distracted because everybody's talking about your wife and her dress and her big old booty in that dress. That's why people don't realize what's going on. And that is the reason why we as women should be modest and cover up, because we can distract things and shut stuff down with the way that we dress. And nobody paying attention to what's really important.
What? That was a bar.
Do you know it already? You know what I'm finna say,
Come
right?
correct with it, because you gotta make sure you can't take it out of context. What we talking about?
I'm not taking it out of context.
We're talking about women being silenced? That's what you talking about?
Women ain't got no business.
No, you got to understand.
Now, I'm going to let you finish.
Now, understand the context of that. During that particular time, then what took place and happened was the women was being distracted.
The bottom line is that in any organization, anything that distracts from the organization's culture, the organization's mission, is a distraction and should be dealt with accordingly. So you can't make excuses for the distraction. You have to eliminate the distraction unless you want there to be a distraction. But Pastor Bryant has been very unorthodox in his approach to the word and his approach to revenue for the church. And I
mean, as much as he wants to say, not all mega pastors are the same. From what we can tell, they ain't much different from each other.
I think revenue is a big thing to him because this cat was trying to grow cannabis out of the land the church owns as a community outreach project. No wonder why the former Democratic elect for POTUS thought that was a great platform to run on.
No, really, New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem.
Pastor Jamal Bryant says he's thinking about launching a cannabis business at his church.
He's pastor of New Birth Missionary Church. During a recent interview on the Cool Source.
I mean, as a businessman and as a hustler, I can't even hate on this man for this, but obviously I'm not a holy man and I'm not a pastor myself, so this is definitely not the great thing to do.
Or podcast. He said the purpose would be to attract new members with a focus on black men to help the church's membership. He also explained that another...
So you just want more drug dealer type people because they're coming in particularly just to raise cannabis?
goal of starting the marijuana business would be to drive entrepreneurship in the black community.
And we all understand that these pulpit pimps want a whole lot of money from you. They want to hear the things jangling. And yes, they may do some good in the community, but when they come out and do this, they take 3 steps backwards. And I'm not saying that it's a poison the well fallacy, but one thing I am saying is that you have to enforce accountability for the folks that you look up to. And too long, we have people going on to get along, just saying, yes, anything this person does is great. They are so enamored with these individuals instead of critically analyzing the situation. But what do we expect for somebody with such a messy reputation with the ladies, that is? And we all know what we're talking about because Pastor Sweet Meat Brian is always into something. You dig?
You don't make up for your sins in the church. You do it in the streets. You do it at home. The rest is bullshit and you know it.
I can't wait to see you again. The man that you've been sleeping with. The man that you've been going around.
It was later confirmed that Mr. Chocolate was actually Pastor Bryant with his messy self.
Did they date?
I don't know. He says no.
Okay.
She says yes. Who knows?
Oh, she says yes.
Well, she said yes to her friends.
Okay. Would you be upset if you found out that they had dated?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Care nothing about Phaedra.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
She's not important.
Okay.
Whatever happened between Phaedra and the pastor didn't last. And during a June 2014 sermon, Pastor Bryant told his congregation how he really felt about women by stating, preach on it now, these hoes.
We are so easily distracted, and God knew that. Which is why modesty is the best way to try to not distract people. So for him to make it seem as though it makes it better because he bought it and he want to see it, cool. You could have saw that in the house with your wife.
For example, we got a preacher, I ain't gonna say his name. He got some BBL, is the first lady of the church. Now you know we all know who this is. It's not respectable to put this woman of the game in front of the people.
So what? You know, I was going through YouTube and I saw a lot of stories on this pasture, and I was just like, you know what? Let me check what's going on and check with THPPNetwork. And it's interesting, like the church itself. I'm sure this pasture isn't the only example of this, and just the only example of a black church. I'm sure white churches have very similar type pastors doing very similar type things. And this is why, en masse, people really look at religion and Christianity and churches as a game, like the game that's being played on them. Please like, subscribe, comment below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time.